And hello everybody, welcome to Unit 3 of Essence in Writing 1. It is my pleasure to be here today to teach you the writing book. I just want to say that everybody is doing fantastically well this semester and I'm having a great time teaching you. Everything that we do is to help you get a better grade. So focus hard, just try your best. Unit 3, I believe, is going to be on the final test. I do not make the final test. Another professor is making it. So they've said try to study this one, but it could change. So we'll study all 5 units. But I'm telling you, just make sure you have a little focus for the final test on this one. So make notes, listen carefully, just try your best, write things down. I'll explain, and again, unfortunately, you're going to have to listen to me talk a bit. So you're probably crying and, oh, Fraser again, oh, talk so much. So I want you to be like, them, over here, smile, yeah, it's gonna be okay. So just try your best to listen to the unit. The unit is about comparison and contrast. So let's start. Ta-dang! Now, as always, I give an outline of the book and how we're gonna go through it, teach you about comparison and contrast, do some examples, read through it, do a little bit of writing, and then finally we'll look at errors and how to give feedback on people's writing so that we can improve our writing. And the feedback is always there just to give us a chance to look and see if we can find mistakes and improve writing, like find common errors that we have. But other than that, we're all great today. So I'm in a great mood. Hopefully you're feeling happy and excited too. So let's get ready to start studying today. So we've gone to page number 60. And what we want to do is we want to have a look at some examples of quotes that are going to talk about maybe comparison and contrast. So when you look carefully on there, you can read them very easily. So page 60. What good is the warmth of summer without the cold of winter? So we have the good of it, the warmth of summer. We have the cold of winter to give it its sweetness. You can only truly, deeply appreciate and are grateful for something when you compare and contrast it to something worse. So they say the good points, the bad points, like this. So good and bad points, we have them both. So we can look at them, appreciate, look at them and decide, and look at other things to decide what is good, bad, better and worse. Imagination that compares and contrasts with what is around, as well as what is better and worse, is the living power and prime agent of all human perception, judgment, and emotional reaction. So, again, they've given another example there of where they say, you have to compare and contrast, which is our topic today, to look at different aspects of things, look at the pros and the cons, and decide an overview and give yourself a final judgment and decision for what we think. So it's a very simple topic. We're going to just look and think about things and then, well, what's the pro, the positive points, what's the cons, the negative points. So on page 61, I just want you to look at them and think about your life with and without a smartphone. So just look in your book, write down some notes. You have some space at the bottom of the book. I can show you, you can see right there that you have some space. And I want you to write down and give your own opinion, what you think about life with a smartphone and without a smartphone. So spend a few minutes, write down a couple of things, just make some key point notes, like just think, use your brain power. Think. And then let's go on. Remember, what are we doing in today's topic? This is page number 62. We're thinking about comparing and contrasting. So as you can see over here, there is a Venn diagram with 2 circles. And we're putting them together and we're kind of looking at the good points, the bad points, and see where it comes together. And that is where we have points that we can think of like the best outcome. So remember, when you are in a situation of deciding one out of 2 or more options, you are likely to compare and contrast them. You want to see which one is better. Like, is this the best idea? Should I take this one? Maybe you used ETA to decide which English class you should take, and you took many people's ideas about like, oh, is this a good professor or is this a good class? Like, which is the best for you? I hope you made the right choice. Maybe you made the wrong choice. You're like, oh no, Fraser. But I'm hoping you all made the right choice and you're really happy to be in class. The idea is to look at similarities and differences between two things or three things and look at them, making sure we make a logical and good judgment, making the right decision. So we always use these methods to think about lots of things, and I'm going to give you some examples here. When do we use it in writing? So comparing and contrasting is used in many kinds of rhetorical genre of writing, like just common, every day in a history class, doing like a serious writing task. In the workplace, maybe you have a company and you have to decide between some things. So all of these times and places are going to use it, and especially for your writing. Now, there's many times in the real world when we have interaction with people, and it's not about writing, it's about talking together with people. So, for example, you go to a restaurant. Well, you need to decide like where to go, or what to eat, what to drink, and you compare and contrast like, oh, this looks nice, but I like this one, and what's my favorite of this one? Like, which one should I use? So we have lots of chances to use comparing and contrasting. The next one, it said about accommodation. Well, accommodation, you maybe want to see best location, or you want to see price, and then you have to find the middle point. Where do they meet? What's going to be the best choice for your hotel? That's how I decide my hotels. Location, cost. Usually the best location is really expensive, and the cheapest locations have like low cost, so you need to maybe meet in the middle and choose one. Unless, you're Buddha, unless you have your golden spoon, and then you can just go wherever you want. But for most people, we have to think about it and make a comparison. Maybe you're planning to buy a car, so you have many options, so you need to think about, power of the car, how old is the car, color of the car, model, brand, all these kind of things, engines, gasoline, diesel. There's so many different things you have to think about when it comes to making these decisions. And when you're talking to people, you're going to talk to them and say about things. So this is a common interactional pattern, comparing and contrasting. So if you go on to page number 63, it explains for this book what we need to know. So look carefully, and you can see there's a red point and then there's black points afterwards. So bam! You can see that the red points say the main point, and then the black one just gives a little bit more detail. So if we look carefully, you can see it says comparing points. So we illustrate, we show, indicate, show aspects to illustrate the things or ideas to be compared and contrasting. So we look at a point and then we talk about that point. What is that point? Giving, examples and explaining the data that we know. If you want to compare or contrast life with and without a smartphone, like we did earlier, possible comparing points can be it's organized, smartphone, convenient, time-saving. Life without a smartphone, maybe you said it's controlling your life. It's expensive, addiction for life without. These kind of things can be showing to the good points of not having a smartphone. So we want to compare points, show, illustrate what we're talking about. Number 2 point. Ding. Still number 1 point. Ding. Comparing points. You indicate aspects to illustrate the things or ideas to be compared and contrasted. If you want to compare and contrast the public education system between Korea and Finland, possible comparing points can be learning goals, teacher qualifications, and instructional styles. These are the examples in the textbook. So, they're showing another kind of example. So, when we're looking at Korea and Finland, the things we need to look at are learning goals, teacher qualifications, instructional styles. This is another example, but this is the example that they use in the book. Next one. That was a hint. If you think about point-by-point structure, you're like, Fraser, what's point? I don't understand. It just is a very simple strategy that means you develop your writing one point by one point after a point like this. So when we're comparing the public education system between Korea and Finland, you maybe make your paragraph with point-by-point structure. So for example, you always have the topic sentence at the beginning. Now, can you remember? What's the topic sentence? That's right. Good job. That's right. The topic sentence is saying what we're talking about. It's always at the start of your writing for comparing and contrasting. So at the start, there'll be the topic sentence. What are you talking about? So you'll have a sentence that says, I am comparing da-da-da-da-da. It'll just be explaining. So your topic sentence is the first sentence, explaining what you're talking about. Now, here we have point-by-point structure. So if you look carefully here, point A, it says learning goals. So when we have point-by-point, we say learning goals. And you compare and contrast them at the same time. So we have the learning goals in Korea compared with the learning goals in Finland. Then we have point number 2, B, teacher qualifications. So again, we compare them at the same time. So we say the teacher qualifications in Korea, and then we say the teacher's qualifications in Finland. So we have them compared together. And the final one, point C, is instructional style, like the teaching style, how you learn in the classrooms. So we have the styles in Korea compared with the styles in Finland. So as you can see, there's 3 points, and the idea is point A, compare them at the same time. Point B, next, compare them at the same time. And then point C, at the bottom, compare them at the same time. So your sentences and your paragraph are structured like this. At the very end, you'll have your concluding statement, your summary, your final point, saying what is your writing in a short form. So, as you can see, it's like a sandwich. Topic sentence, point A, point B, point C, like squeezed in, and then at the bottom you have your concluding statements. It's like a big hamburger, right? Now there's one more kind, and if you turn over the page, it actually tells you the other kind, and it's called block by block. And this means you put your writing one block and one block after each other. All of the detail is entailed in that paragraph, like in that section. So when comparing the public education system between Korea and Finland, you would make a structure like this for block by block. So if you look carefully, you can see topic sentence is always first. I'm comparing blah, 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 like that. And then in block A, so your first writing part, you put everything about Korea. Learning goals, teacher qualifications, instructional styles, all about it in one. And then the second one, you're going to put the learning goals, qualifications, instructional styles of Finland all together. So you're writing it all at one time, saying every point about it. And then at the bottom of your sandwich, you have your conclusion, your summary, summarizing everything, talking about the good points and bad points of them and explaining about the differences between them. So as you can see, this sandwich is a thicker sandwich. You know, you've got it all there. Big block, and then the top parts are very small compared to the middle part. Now, in the textbook, they have pre-reading activity, and you have to look at the infographic. So I want you to look at the infographic. So I'm on page 65. Bam! It's right there. I want you to look at the pre-reading activity. You want to look at this textbook. So if you go to 65, you can see it's right there. It has the infographic, the poster with some pictures and some text. The idea is you just have to look at it and decide about the main points from it. So have a look at it. The color is disgusting. It's like a very terrible yellowy greeny color that burns my eyes, so I don't want to look at it. So just look at it for a short time and then have a look at it and decide like the key information from this. Now, bam! There we go. It's perfect. You can see it. You can see this disgusting color, this wonderful color on here. And you can see it has a title, it's got some text, and it says learning goal, teacher qualifications, instructional styles, and then it has there some information. Each country and key points. Each country, key points. Each country, key points. So you can look at this carefully. So just have a look at it, take a pause, and then we can look, right? And you've seen it. What I want you to do is just to have a read and find out the things. And remember, the title is key. The text head points here are key. And then you can see these points here are comparing and contrasting each one. Now, when you turn over the page onto 66, it's actually got all the text. But I want you to answer the questions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. Okay? So if you look at number 1, it says, what is the paragraph about? The title will tell you this answer. The title of the paragraph and infographic. Super easy. The next one, find the topic sentence. Remember, they're going to say what they're comparing, and it's going to be near the start. So the topic sentence is going to tell you what this essay is about and like what they are comparing. 3 things they compare. Next one, what are the comparing points? It's in the topic sentence. So as you can see, it's in the topic sentence, so it's easy to find. The next one, 4, comparison style. So when you read the essay, what is it? Is it point to point, where it says Finland, Korea? Next one, Finland, Korea. Next one, Finland, Korea. Or is it block, where it's all about Korea, and then block, all about Finland? Which one is it? Point to point or block style? What are the comparing devices, like expressions? Give me some examples of some expressions that they use in this text, to show comparisons. And the last one, give your opinion of the infographic. Remember, 2 points, text and pictures. Okay, so just do that. Just have the text on the screen. So I'm going to close me down, pause it here, and do the reading. Bam! I'm over this side. Hi, everybody. You've done the writing, you've done it, so let's go through. The first one, number 1, what is the paragraph about? Super, super easy. Educational differences between Korea and Finland in the title. So easy. Number 2, find the topic sentence. Remember, at the beginning, what are they comparing? So education, comparing in these 2 countries, have noticeable disparities, differences in the aspects of learning goals, teacher qualification, instructional styles. They say the 3 things they're going to look at in the essay. So easy. Next one. What is the comparing points? They just said it. There's 3 of them. That's right. Learning goals, teacher qualifications, instructional styles. So simple, right? Best teacher? Maybe yes. Next one. What writing strategy does he use to organize his writing? So you have 2 choices. 50-50. Bam! Point by point. So he did it. Talk about learning goals, Korea and Finland together. Then next one, teacher qualifications together. And next one, instructional styles, Korea, like this. Next one. What are the comparing devices that the author uses? So he says, unlike in Korea, in contrast to this. He uses some others, but these are just examples of ones that you can use. Next one, does he use lots of sentences? Yes, he does. We didn't do this question, but we'll talk about this later in the chapter because the textbook isn't structured perfectly, so he does actually use some, so we'll skip this part, okay? The next one, bam! Do you think it shows it effectively? Write down your opinion. Now, your opinion, you can write anything you want. This is what they want to say. It's an infographic that presents a text effectively. You can see the differences between them just by looking at the infographic. The color's not the best, and the pictures are a little small and hard to relate to the topics. One of the pictures has a picture of the Canadian flag, so that's not related to Korea or Finland, so it's a little bit weird. But anyway, next on. We're on to page 69. This part is your idea. Use your brain. Think about anything you want. You have 4 choices. And what I want you to do is just write down tentatively, like this is ideas, like you're not sure that's the right answer, but write down some ideas for 4 questions. Super easy. So choose one of them, just one. Life with a smartphone, without a smartphone. Life with KakaoTalk or without KakaoTalk. Reading paper books or ebooks, and study with homework or study without homework. So what I want you to do is to write down your ideas. Remember, choose one and say title. So make a title for your essay. Number 2, make a topic sentence. So you're saying what you're comparing and some points. Number 3, that's 2. 3, you're going to do the comparing points of your writing. And number 4, give detail. So that means try to write something more than what you have. So give some more evidence. Show some ideas of what you're writing. So pause it here. Bam! And we're back. You've paused it. Phrases cap's gone back. But you know the answer. So I've given you an example again. So for example, reading paper books. It's authentic reading. That's my title. Next on. What's the topic sentence? I think reading paper books is better than ebooks. Easy. Next on. What's my comparing point? So, for example, I'm just talking about convenience. And give an example of convenience. Paper books are less portable because they're heavy. In addition, they are likely to be lost. So we should repurchase them. So you lose your books, you give it to a friend, you forget about it, like where is it? Another thing, ebooks are more portable because they're just file online or just USB, like it's so easy. If we delete them, it's fine. We can re-download them. So it's so much more convenient to download a book. If I need to go to the bookstore, I have to walk, blah, blah, blah. Download, it's a second. There's so many things that make it more convenient. What is the comparing point of your writing? An example, infringement of copyright. So a little bit more detailed answer. What are the details of your comparing point? Paper books are less dangerous in light of infringement of copyright. They are physical things, something we hold. There's many pages. Copying every page of paper books is hard and bothersome. On the contrary, ebooks are more dangerous because they are made online and you can boop up download. Don't do that. You can copy them with just a click. Torrent. Wow. So you can copy and do expose them from illegal reproduction. So people can just take them from online and they can just take them whenever they want. So that's why it's a bad point. Okay, so we're on to page number 72. And this part is very easy. You just look at your textbook. It's the same. And you can see right there. All I want you to do is answer one question. And you can write anything you want, but just write in an answer. Does the infographic demonstrate the text effectively? Yes or no? So you look at it. Can you see it? It's super small for one, so that's not a good point. The title is at the bottom. You know, there's other ways to do it. You can think about maybe the points. So they put them on the, wrong way. They put them on the side of there. So you can see like that, like information gathering, spending your time. Just write down a sentence or two. It's up to you about what you think. My opinion doesn't matter. This is your writing. So pause me. And let's do this. So page 72 and 73 is the feedback practice. We're looking for errors. So I want you to read through the essay and I want you to try to find the errors in the sentence. Can you find them? Are they there? They're there. And again, like before in the last chapter, I explained about the kind of errors that you're going to find. So look carefully, look with your glasses. If you've got your glasses on, you'll find them. If you don't have glasses, no problem, you can find them too. So have a look through, and then you'll be able to find some errors in this writing. What could they be? So we're back. How can we find the errors? What kind of errors do you have? So you can highlight them. I'm going to just reproduce them in a table, and you can see it right here. So we have the type of error again, and then the examples. So the first one is the title. There shouldn't be period in the title. It's a very simple mistake. So you can see there, period. No, just no period. So life with TV or life without a TV. It's a title. Next one, we have a problem with the agreement, the fact that it doesn't match together. So this situation appears indiscriminately. These situations, plural, then okay, but it's not. Next one, capitalization. We have a problem. TV is capitalized because it's shorthand abbreviation of television. So we get this information from TV capitalized. Next one, we have a word missing. Just sitting in front of TV, you're missing a word. So just sitting in front of TV is right. Grammatical voice. You might feel boring in life. Remember, I am bored. TV or my life is boring. Something has to be boring. I am the human, I am bored. So you have to make sure you have the voice correct. So not saying it in the wrong way. The next one, we have ordering, putting the words in the correct order. So in terms of information gathering, in terms of gathering information. The last one, we have conjunction. So this means to put them together, conjunctions. And in this case, we can use because. And because is used to put the sentences together, combine them together. And in this case, we don't need that period. We can just use because to link, to put them together, the sentences, and run as one together. So you can see better lives, because, no, better lives because. It goes together in a sentence, and this is called a conjunction. Hopefully you found those errors, and you were great. I'm sure you did, so good job! Yeah, let's go on to the next part. The next part is page 74. And again, we're talking about writing practice. And to make essays, there's 4 types. Well, there's more, but there's 4 types of writing styles that we can use and 4 types of sentences that we can have in there to make it effective writing. So there's 4 kinds. Now, in the text itself, it says about them a simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentence, and a compound complex sentence. Now, you probably studied these in maybe middle school or maybe in a Hogwarts in elementary school, maybe, but we don't know. So I'll go through them as the examples in here, but what I want you to do is read through each one, and I want you to give them a title. So you have group A, B, C, D. And I want you to write down which one is simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentence, compound complex sentence. It's super easy. So, pause me. Okay, now I'm going to give you an example of each one of those 4. So let's have a look at number 1. You'll be able to understand this. It should be super easy for you. I'm sure you can do it. So if you look carefully, number 1, Tom reads novels. So if you look at it, subject Tom reads novels. So we have the verb and we have the object. That is a simple sentence. That's right, it's a simple sentence. The next one, Tom reads novels and Harry reads a newspaper. This one is a compound sentence where we've put 2 together. And many times we have and or but, and we have commas in there, and you can tell that this is a compound sentence. So a compound sentence example. Here is I drink tea. This is a clause, its own sentence. And then at the end you can see it says they drink coffee. That could be its own sentence too. But when we put them together, join them, like with comma, with but, or and, this makes it a compound sentence where we have two separate sentences and we put them together. They could be understandable by themselves. So that's an example of a compound sentence. Bye. The devil's scary, right? The next one. When I was home, Tom read novels. Bam. This is a complex sentence. So a complex sentence is when we have something that's separated by a comma. So here, comma. So we have a dependent clause and an independent clause. So this sentence would be understandable by itself, whereas this one is dependent on this one. You need to have one of them, this one, and this one together. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. If I say, when the cake is brown, what? When the cake is brown, what? We need to know something else. So, when the cake is brown, comma, not always, but comma, take it out the oven. So it's telling us what to do. So when we have a complex sentence, we have an independent clause here and a dependent one that needs the other, depends on, needs the other one. And the last one, when I was home, Tom read novels and Harry read newspapers. So we can see here we have a complex, comma here, so we have this one with this one, and then we have and, so we know that it's also a compound. So this is a compound complex sentence. And by magic, I'm here. Wow. And so you can see these are the 4 example types. And in the book, you can see that they are that way. It's very simple to do. So at the end, there's the checklist. And the checklist will be especially important for the final exam. You have to include the points on the checklist to get the full marks for the test. So remember, you always need a topic sentence saying what you're comparing and the things that you're comparing about. You need to present your comparing points clearly, so you have to mention what they are and talk about them. You have to choose one style, point by point or block by block. Remember, point by point, you compare 2 things all the time. Block by block is one thing at one time and one thing at one time. And the last ones. Do you have an appropriate concluding sentence? You need to write a conclusion. You have to say the summary. What is your final decision for your writing? Because you're comparing and contrasting, so you want to have a final point. Do you use various sentences? As I said, you can use various sentences. So it's up to you. But in the main points, these 1, 2, 3, 4 are the most important for our studies, okay? So don't worry too much about the last one. Now, this one is always there because you want to avoid your grammatical errors. And grammar is learned by practice for writing. You have to practice your writing. So try to write in this textbook. If you really want to improve your writing, give yourself some topics, some ideas that are interesting to you and write about them. So maybe you want to compare and contrast Liverpool and Manchester United. Or maybe you want to compare and contrast, you know, your favorite celebrity who's very handsome and Fraser who's not handsome. It's game over. Don't do that. You'll make me cry if I see that. Okay, now remember, just practice your writing, write a few sentences a day, try to do the book as much as possible. And remember, that's it for today. We're all good. It's time to go home. So thank you, everybody. I like you all. Everybody's doing a good job. Thanks for getting in touch with me and sending me a few messages sometimes. Sometimes you talk to me and you said, like, Fraser, can you help me? Always, I'll help you. Whenever you want, I'm here for you. So just remember to take care. Have a lovely, 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 lovely week. And I guess we're going to be seeing each other often. So I'm hoping we all have a great time. So everybody, from me to you, goodbye, be safe and take care.